This is an overview of the geometry assessment that I created for my unit. The things that are covered in this unit are classifying shapes and the coordinate grid. So starting out, we just have draw a regular hexagon and then draw an irregular hexagon. And they have to explain the difference between these shapes. Like, what's the difference between regular and an irregular shape? The next set of questions is based on the students creating a table from data and then graphing it. So the question was, each student in class was asked what their favorite color was in a class poll, and then here are the results. So the students are just given the names and what color they voted on, and in this space they need to create their own table. We've done many lessons on creating tables, so they should be pretty comfortable with that. Once they've created their table, they need to come down to the graph and then plot the data and make sure that they label the x and y axes as well as the title of the graph. So the next set, test them on their coordinate grid knowledge. It's just a simple coordinate grid, and they have to determine where each of the 5 landmarks is located. So on the blanks below, they just have to put in, for example, home would be 2, 4. So when I didn't label the axes, the students should be comfortable with labeling starting with 0 at the origin. So there's those 5, and then they have to create their own landmark on the map by putting the point on there and giving it a name. Could be anything. And then they have to explain how they determine the coordinates of their landmark, and the note I put with that is be sure to use 5th grade geometry vocabulary when explaining. So the student should be using the words coordinate and x-axis and y-axis in their explanation. So then moving on, we move into more of the classifying shapes. So I gave the students a list of polygons that we've used throughout this unit, and then a simple Venn diagram in which one side is for quadrilaterals and then the other side is polygons with all congruent angles. So the students can use the words up top to help them, and I did give them a note. Not every shape will be used in each Venn diagram. A lot of times students will just be like, oh, I need to put all of these answers in there. Well, not all the answers are going to fit into the Venn diagram, so they're going to have to think about which one of those are quadrilaterals, and then which ones are polygons with all the congruent angles, and there's going to be some overlap in there. On the bottom, last 4 questions, the students are given a small description and they need to draw and name the shape. So there's just those 4 questions, and it shows if the students are able to pull that classification scheme out of what we've learned. And that's an overview of the assessment for the geometry unit.